So a large part of creating a resume is formatting, right? Oh, you have too much space here.
Yeah.
Have an extra space here. This font is wrong and stuff like that. I don't want people to worry too much about that because I think we're nitpicking a little bit too much. So there are a lot of great online templates. One that I particularly like is CRUD, introduced to me by Kara, which I think makes really good-looking resumes. In the end, what the resume really says about you, like the most important thing is obviously the content, right? It's not necessarily like the formatting. You can change the formatting however you wish. So you're going to sign up for an account using CRUD, and then there's a lot of it's just one giant form that you have to enter in. So there's a lot of things like basic information. You're going to enter your first and last name, what you want your title to be, your email address, so on and so forth. Maybe these are all just input forms. So if I got rid of this altogether, you can kind of see that just says first name. So it's a fairly intuitive. It's a fairly intuitive form that you just more or less fill out, and it automatically saves for you. You write your summary right here. You add all your education. You add your employment with all like the bullet points, kind of like what you're doing now. That's why we're using Google Docs, because then Amanda and Wally can go in really quickly and just say, I'm going to redline this, use a different verb here, have different wording, or this is all supposed to be past tense or present tense or something like that. You can kind of just copy and paste that all into here. If you have particular skills, so some people were asking me, what is the difference between what is the difference between a tech resume and a non-tech resume? Computer hacking skills. Yeah, I suppose that's one thing.
Have a count for how many times you have to.
So this is what my resume from CRUD looks like. Again, all I did was just fill in the information, and then I chose a particular layout, and then it came out like this. I think it looks fairly sharp. You know, it's better than anything I can do in Google Docs or Microsoft Word myself. But the main thing that I have that's different between a technical resume and a non-technical resume is mostly just this skills section right in the middle here. So for me on the CRUD website, I just more or less just write down the technical skills that I have that I'm comfortable saying on an interview. You can test me on whatever you want here. I will be able to answer at least half the questions that you ask, right? Obviously, I know HTML and CSS. I'm by no means an expert in it, but if you want to ask me stuff, I can at least make an educated guess if I don't know what the actual answer is. Ruby, you can test me on most things. I'll be okay. Ruby on Rails, I feel all right. But if you touched like a Go tutorial one time, or if you used a Vim tutorial once or twice and you never used it again, please don't put that on your resume. Because what that means is, as an interviewer, I can read this and go, oh, John knows something about RSpec. If John knows something about RSpec, I can ask him something about RSpec. You're like, oh, I played with that one time. Why is it on your resume? And why are we talking about it here in that case? So yeah, there's this middle section right here with all the technical skills. That is quite honestly, the large part of it that's different. So like, what technical skills do you have? What methodologies do we follow? So like, we teach Agile, pair programming, test-driven development, things of that nature. Go ahead.
So like, I guess after this class, am I like qualified enough to add JavaScript and Ruby and RSpec and stuff we learned here on my resume, even though I just took a class in it?
Yeah, because you spent 14 weeks like learning stuff, right? And it depends on what you are applying for as well, right? So it's kind of like, I have, as a professional, I have like 3 years of industry experience. I'm not going to say I am a Ruby like guru, right? Like I'm not like an absolute master, but I know Ruby. Like I can do a lot of things in Ruby, not everything, but I can do a lot of things. And similarly, like that's because I'm applying for like a 3-4 year job at that point. I'm not going to apply for like a principal engineer that says 7 to 10 years. And similarly, you're going to apply for, entry level positions where it's like, I learned this in a class for 14 weeks. Like that's what you did. There's no shame in where you are.
Not only have you learned things, you've actually built them. So there are a lot of people, and obviously some of you have had like CS degree kind of experience, right? A lot of the things that you go through when you're learning something is very like theoretical, or it's very much like I read a book and I have an understanding, but you're actually being very like hands-on. You're going to be able to have said that you've built things, and that's a good amount of experience that people will want to hear from you, not just that you have an idea of what Ruby is. Like you've actually utilized it. You've broken stuff, you fixed stuff.
Absolutely. So when you get to CRUD, just kind of fill out all these things that you think you may want to use. Definitely basic information, summary, education, employment, skills. And I don't have a project on here right now because all of my projects are kind of like, I don't have any like personal side projects. So all of my personal projects are very old and are not an accurate representation of my current level of skill. But you will, like you're definitely going to have it. So the other big differentiator between a tech resume and a regular resume, let's see if I still have my old regular resume.
Yeah, when you put projects in, is it like a link?
Yes.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to bring up my old resume. Nope, I don't have my old resume. So yeah, the two big differentiators between a tech resume and a regular resume. One is the skills section right in the middle, and the other big one is the project section right here. So all you have to do is add a new project. You're going to name it whatever you want. I'll call this Deja's project. And I did this. Here's the link of like www.dejasproject.com or something like that. And maybe I'm still working on it. So I started in January of 2015, and I'm still working on it. Here's a little description that says like this is what the app does, and this is like these are the technologies I use, etc. So I add all of these things in. If you have any awards that you want to really bring up, or if you have any activities or volunteerings or some custom section, go ahead and write that in there. But the great part about this is that there's a section for resume formatting. So just click on this resume formatting. It'll take a little while to build everything. But essentially what I can do is I can just click on this themes button right here, and I can more or less just customize it however I wish. So let's say I wanted to go to, well, there's a whole bunch I can choose from, right? Maybe I like mine to be orange. All I have to do is just click it like this, and then it'll rebuild it in orange format for me. And just like that, I have a whole other resume. So it's as simple as just clicking on themes, choosing another theme, and then this is what it looks like now. And it'll force it to be on one page. Some of if you have very long, like title or something like that, it might not all fit. So just kind of play around with it. I think there's upwards of like hundreds of possibilities that you can do with different font sizes and colors and formats. So it's not terribly. It's pretty intuitive, but like the main part of what we want to get done right now is getting all of the words typed out, all of the bullet points and things of that nature, and then the rest is just filling it into a form, and it'll make it look nicer. So yeah, Credle.io. All right, I have a few questions for this morning. If you can believe it, we are exactly at like 51% completed of the course. So we finished week 7. We have another 7 weeks to go. We are taking the whole week of Thanksgiving off, so that is, whoa, holy cow, 1, 2, oh gosh. Thanksgiving's in like 2.5 weeks.
Yes.
Three and a half, my mistake. Wow. What just happened? Okay, well, yeah, we were 51% through. We just finished week 7 out of 14. Yeah, in roughly a month and a half, you all are done with us here at Code Platoon. A lot of things to cover between now and then, obviously, but a few things I need to know. One is we have the Safe Agile certification. So Agile is like the software development process that we talked about. There are certifications if you want to become a project manager or a product manager that you may need to take. One of them is called like the Certified Scrum Master. Bless you. There's another one called the there are numerous ones. The best known one is called the Certified Scrum Master. But if you want to work for a large company, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, John Deere, or something like that, they have something called Safe Agile, which is scaled agile frameworks for very, very large companies. You all have a free. Like I know I posted it over here here inside of the general channel. You all have a free, like we're paying for you, so you don't have to go. But I just need to verify that everyone here is going to go. So it's on November 18th, about 3 weeks from today, just that Saturday and Sunday from 8 to 5. And then you'll take the assessment on the 19th at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something. Kara, myself, and like 5 other people took it last time, and every single one of us passed.
Where is it?
It's here. It should be here.
Hey, John, I probably wasn't going to do that.
You probably weren't going to go to that. Deja? Alex?
I'm going to try to go to it.
But like
so I have to give him like an absolute
I
like,
really want to
roster.
go to it. It's during my drill weekend, so I have to.
Oh.
I don't know. They might move. They haven't told us like it's either the 4th or the 5th or the 18th and 19th. But I'm not on the freaking email list for like the local unit here.
Okay.
And I've been emailing my one like point of contact.
Yeah.
Sure. So they were gonna move it. They were possibly gonna move it because they want to keep that Thanksgiving weekend open for.
That's fair.
People to have
I'll put you on. That's the legitimate excuse. I will put you on there pending service.
Is it? I could also sometimes you can split drill during the week. Would that be something that would it be worthwhile to? Like if it requires missing class.
I would sooner miss the certification than I would miss class.
Okay.
Yeah. Mickey's and Daisha, any thoughts? Or just think about it, let me know.
Okay. I was just wondering, will this class like prepares for the exam? Because I don't know that stuff.
None of us knew any of that
Oh,
stuff.
okay. That's
It's
my concern. Like if I take this class, is there a good chance to be like passing as long as I pay attention?
So let's put it this way. Like I mean, we had students last time the same. We had 3 students in class last time. Charlie Platoon, and they were here with us, and we learned everything in 2 days and all passed. We all took it together. We all passed. Okay. Yeah. I almost failed. I was one question away from failing, and then some of the students in class like only missed like 1 or 2 questions. So I wasn't paying attention. But that's a totally different topic.
It's like a video.
What's that? No. There's going to be somebody coming in from Boston.
Oh.
So it usually costs like much more money, but he's like, I want to volunteer my time, just pay for the materials and my food and lodging and things like that. So yeah, just let me know. As of right now, I have 1 person guaranteed. So I will ask John as well a little bit later. Cool stuff happening over the next couple of weeks. Today, we're going to have Pablo coming in to teach technical interviews. So who's going to be here for that? I know John said he was going to be here, but he's sick. I need at least 1 person to stay with Pablo. Pablo. Pablo is the senior engineer from the nerdery. Yeah, so this person's making a special trip out here from 5:30 to 7. So I do need at least 1 or 2 people to stay with him. Okay, Alex. Grab pressure one of your other classmates to stay.
There's only 3 people here, so I mean.
Yeah, I wasn't staying, but I got an appointment with my dad at 8. So
Yeah, 8?
stayed.
Cool. Okay, that's fine. Sounds good. Tomorrow we'll do a Beyond Tech on personal finance, and the second one will be on November 8th. This Thursday is a pretty busy day. We're going to be going to another company called Table XI. They're a consulting shop here in Chicago. They do stuff for like Field Museum and for like mid-sized like small businesses and things like that. They sponsor most of Chicago Ideas Week, so you can thank them for getting the ticket for cybersecurity. We'll be doing a game called the Lego game, which is like learning how to work on agile teams. from 3 to 5:30 on that day. I won't be with you because I'll be preparing for code brews here. So if you want to come back afterwards and meet other veterans and drink beer upstairs, that'll be from 5:30 to 7:30.
Where is it anyway?
It's upstairs.
Oh yeah, upstairs.
It's just upstairs on 5.
And what time is supposed to go like before 3, right?
You all are going to go to this from 3 to 5:30, and then Carol will be with you. I won't be present at that one. I'll be, taking care of errands and stuff like that because I'll be there from 8 to 7:30. So I need to take care of a few errands during that time. And then Code Brews will be from 5:30 to 7:30. And then we're going to have one speaker this Friday named Walter, who's a cybersecurity expert, and it's going to be coming in on Friday to give a talk of some sort.
No, but for the legal game, you said upstairs or
Oh, sorry. It's going to be at a company called Table XI. So that's going to be, I think we have to walk there. It's going to take 25 minutes to walk there. It's over by the financial district on the west side.
Can I got something going on at 2, so can I catch up later?
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Cool. Any questions on anything calendar related? Anything about logistics or anything? Cool. All right, so today we don't have anything particularly new, but I figured we'd go from start to finish with the nested CRUD app because tomorrow you got an assessment on it.
Oh.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll split this up into 2 parts. We'll create an app of your choosing. Let's split this up. We'll do a CRUD app of your choosing, and we'll do one resource. We'll take a break, and then we'll do the second resource. And I'm aiming to be done by 11:30 or 11:45.
Could you do a gym, kind of like we were talking
A gym?
about? Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Signing up for classes and times and
Sure.
whatever.
Sure. Okay. Let's do that then. Let's do a quick design.
John he was showing me the CrossFit gym. They outsource the scheduling to a different company,
Okay.
and it seems pretty straightforward. Obviously, there's more to it, but
All right. So nested CRUD means that one thing is nested within the other. So a child is nested within a parent. A child cannot exist without a parent as of right now. And similarly, it's kind of like a car exists within a manufacturer, which is going to be your challenge for this afternoon, cars and manufacturers. So we're doing gyms and classes. So I go to this gym called Brick in Chicago. It's only about 3 blocks from here. And then they have, so it's a CrossFit gym, but it also allows you to sign up for a specific schedule. Now, in terms of Brick, I'm not sure if what is theirs and what is not, but I can tell you with absolute certainty that this section in the middle is not there. So if I hit enroll right here, you can kind of see that it takes me from brick.fit to Brick Cross Hill Fit Shy Ill. Oh, okay, it's all the
sure it's not Fit Chill.
What's that? Fit Chill?
Yeah.
It could be. But yeah, it takes you to a separate website. So I was like, what's pike13.com? So if I go to pike13.com, it seems like I've seen this also before, but there's a number of gyms. If your whole business is based off of a lot of scheduling and things like that, the amount of join tables and everything to do it yourself is a complete disaster. There's a lot of stuff going on. So what they do is they outsource it to companies like Pike 13, where if you're a gym, if you're a yoga studio, if you're a school or something like that, they allow you to use their software and just create your own URL, right? That's where this Brick CrossFit Chicago, Illinois, pike13.com, that's where that comes from. And then they take care of all of your scheduling for you. And it's not terribly expensive either. If you're a business and you're doing a lot of scheduling and things like that, it's only $130 a month. But we're going to create something very, very simple today. We're just going to have gyms, and I have many gyms. Let's say I'm Lifetime Fitness. Have people heard of Lifetime Fitness? Or let's say I'm LA Fitness, right? I have many gyms.
Is it logo gym?
What's that?
It's the,
All right, let's say no, Planet Fitness doesn't have classes. Let's say I'm LA Fitness, right? I'm the CEO of LA Fitness. I have lots of gyms across the US. In each one of those gyms have many classes. Like I can do this, like I have different classes. That's about it. So I have 2 tables. One's called gyms and one's called classes. What are some of the fields that we'd want on gyms?
location.
Okay. Location. Make this just text field. Name, you said? Gym name, perhaps? Anything else? Phone number? Manager. And manager name. Cool. Okay, a class. What does a class have?
Name type? Yeah, or name.
Class name. What else does a class name have?
Fine. Or is that later? Yeah, sorry.
We can totally do that. Time start. And time end.
Does there need to be a capacity?
What's that?
Is there a capacity?
Sure, we can do a capacity. I'm not gonna like. We're not actually gonna do the process of like signing up for the class or anything. We're just gonna create the class underneath. You could. What else?
Name.
Yeah, instructor name. What else?
Some description.
Yeah, sure. Description and one. All right. So let's just leave it there. But how are these 2 related?
Classes happen at the gym.
Okay.
And certain gyms have classes, so they're. I mean, it can go both ways.
Gym has many classes.
What's that?
Gym has many classes.
Gym has many classes.
Can't classes belong to many gyms?
Technically, yes.
Because like, what if you offer yoga in one gym, but
Yeah, the instructor.
Yeah, be a different instructor. It's a different class technically. Right? It's a different table. Right, I would think so. It's different timing in instructor capacity would be different. So it's just one direction.
yeah. Okay.
And we're trying to make it as simple as possible. I
Yeah.
mean, we could do where it's like a gym could have many classes and a class belongs to many gyms and like one instructor goes between all these 3 different gyms and stuff like that.
But you're right. So like capacities start timing.
Yeah, most of this seems to be per
Unique
gym.
to gym. Yeah.
So this is a pretty simple way to get started. I like this. Let's just kind of see what we've got here.
How do
So-
you know again that that's going from gym to classes?
So this has a gym ID.
Oh, yeah.
So this points
That's
to a
right.
gym. We'll have 2 tables, a gym and a class, and we're going to create this right now. So let's just call this scheduler or something like that. So I have a Rails new scheduler overriding the database as a Postgres database, taking away test unit and turning off turbolinks. All of this stuff comes in here.
What you said scheduler or why? Is that just the name or what?
It's just the name of the app. I figure I was like, could I call it gyms and classes, or should I just call it scheduler? List everything out. Change into scheduler. Let's bundle everything. Cool. And let's start generating. The first step that we have to do is generate our actual schema, which we did. Right, it's here. Actually, where's Kara's gist? I like that. Okay, so we have a CRUD step-by-step from Kara here. All right, so we drew out the schema. Don't name any join tables. Double check our schema. Ensure that we have, okay. Let's create migrations for each one of these tables. Now, as I was mentioning inside of this is Thursday's curriculum from last week. We have the ability just to run bundle exec Rails generate model business. So we have 2 models. We have one's called the gym and one's called the class. So I'm just going to create a model called gym. And a model called class. Oh, it's class is a fixed thing. So you know how like in Ruby we have like class whatever, like class gym. I don't think you can use class. We have to name it something else.
Activity.
Oh, no, this
Gym
would be-
class, workout class. So it can't be named class. I just need
Yeah.
something else.
Classes.
I can't do because then it pluralizes classes, so it's classes is
Session, class session.
no. Like what is this actually called? I'll just call this workout class. How's that? Workout class. All right. So I ran these two things right here. This bundle exec Rails generate model gym. So this is the command that's built into Rails so that we can create models. And the model that I'm talking about is capital G gym, and it's singular. So you can kind of see what it does. It creates a migration for me called create gyms, and then it creates a singular model gym.rb. Same thing here. It creates a like the migration create workout classes, and then the model name is called workout class.rb. All right, so let's open this whole thing up in Sublime. I've got my 3 windows again: Chrome, iTerm, and my text editor. And everyone says that they can't see this. I'm going to change this to gross color, which everyone can see. All right. First things first, I know I'm going to need my rspec later, so I'm going to do rspec.rails.
Wait, you changed it from the black?
Yeah, did you want it to be black?
I prefer black. What do you guys?
Would you?
Oh, that's actually what the gray kind of says.
This one, this one, this one, this one, this one.
I would do Mariana.
Mariana?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, this one's fine. Okay. So I know I'm gonna need Rails for, I'm gonna need rspec for my testing. I know I'm going to need Faker for my seeds file. I know I'm gonna need pry so I can add binding pry. So I'm gonna add these 3 right off the bat. From there, I will bundle install one more time just to get everything in. Goes real quick. All right, so where do I find my migration files that were recently created? db migrate, and I have these 2 giant things. What are these ugly numbers in the front? I don't like this. What is that? It's a timestamp. So it reads, I have 2017, it's kind of tiny, but it's 2017, 10:30 at 15:30. So it is minus 5 hours from 15 is 10, yeah. So this is in UTC time. UTC time, you being Universal Time Coordinate. What does UTC stand for? Sure. All right, so it creates this boilerplate for me, right? I have create table workout classes and create table gyms. I'm going to fly between these 2 real quick. So a gym has a location, gym name, phone number, and manager name. So first things first, a gym has a location, what was it? Phone number, manager name, and gym name. Manager name, gym name. All right, so what kind of a data type is a location? Is it going to be its character or something like that? Yes. Yes. All right, so what kind of data type is a location?
String.
It's a string, so t.string for location. What kind of data type is a phone number? The string. Why are you saying string and not an integer? Because it is a string.
Some might have like characters in between.
Yeah, you might have special characters in between. Also, if you're dialing outside of the country for any reason, like a lot of Asian countries have 0 as their first. The country code is like 0. Like Taiwan, I know is 011. That is, yeah, it's the country code to dial in is 011. So, she said we'll get it later.
She's gonna get it all plugged
Okay, cool. Manager name is going to be a string. Gym name is also going to be a string. And timestamps remain the same. What is timestamps on line 9 here? It's a given, but what does it give you access to?
Created date.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know.
What's that?
Created on date and updated date.
Yeah, so every single record that you create in the database, they will keep track of the original created at date, And it'll also, in case you ever update it, it'll also update it for you. It says like, oh, this record was updated like last night or something like that. All right, so we're going to move on to workout classes a little bit more here. Class name, time start, time end. Class name, time start, time end. Capacity, instructor, description. Capacity, whatever. Instructor, and I'll fix the spelling later. Description, gym ID. Okay. So a class name is going to be a string. Time start. Daytime. I think it is daytime. Let's find out. Rails daytime.
Okay, so difference between daytime and timestamp?
Daytime has like a pretty format. It looks like you can
do a lot of things with daytime object.
Yeah. T.timestamps stands for T.datetime created at and T.datetime updated at.
That's why a lot of times when y'all were trying to build your stuff, I told you not to create those fields because T.timestamps they're doing that for you, so you don't have to do that extra work.
Oh yeah.
So line 12 just gives you line 14 and 15, so you don't have to type it out.
Okay.
But they are all date times. So daytime is the date with the time and the time zone and all of that built in.
And that is every time you create that actual object.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or update that. Actual
or update it. Yeah, correct.
Is it going to just keep the latest one, or is it going to keep all timestamps?
Just the latest one. So if you update it like 50 times, it's just the 50th time that you updated. That's going to be the new updated app.
Okay.
All right, so we have a time start and a time end. Capacity, I think I spelled that, yeah, I definitely spelled that wrong. T.integer, I'll call this max capacity, capacity, yeah, that's right. Okay, string for instructor name, T.string for description, and then the gym ID. So how do I associate inside the workout class itself? How do I associate that back up to a gym? What's that? Refer I could use. What's an easier one to use? Thoughts? How do I connect like inside the table? How do I connect it to the gym? Because I know one is going to belong to another one. It's not has many because this belongs to a gym. Yep, we can just do T.belongs to gym over here, and this literally just means T.integer gym ID. These two are synonymous. But since you're using like the Rails method, you're saying belongs to and has many so often, I just like to use belongs to inside of here as well. All right, so I have my migrations. Let's see what's next on Kara's thing. Okay, I have to create my active record models. Where do I find my models inside of a giant Rails app?
I think it's an app.
It's an app? Anywhere?
Oh yeah,
models, gym, and workout classes. So inside of here,
and those were created. What did we call again in the terminal to get those created? Okay. Well, it's in Rails G model.
So it just created two empty files for us that they knew that we were going to need. Okay. All right. So a gym has many workout classes, and a workout class belongs to a gym. Are there any sort of validations you would want to have? Make sure that one exists or something, like make sure like a gym has a location or a phone number. Like what would you want as a validation? Like you want to protect your database from saving in garbage. Like you have a brand new intern, they enter a bunch of workout classes with no name and no start time. Like do you want to save that inside of a database?
I mean, wouldn't you want all of them? Wouldn't you want to make sure mandatory?
Yeah, that's totally fine too. So you want to verify that all of these are here. Cool.
What's the issue with doing that? I mean,
And there's no issue with doing that. Yeah, you could totally do that. But sometimes it's kind of like if you're signing up for like if you want to put in somebody's address and they're kind of like I'm moving right now, I don't have an address, or I'm living on my friend's couch or something like that. It's like you might not want to put that in there. But
yeah,
it's,
sure,
it's
on the
okay
customer
to,
side,
yeah,
sure.
exactly. Or it's like I don't like a phone number I don't want to enter in all the time because I don't want to get calls from gyms and stuff like that. So I might not enter it. That's okay too. As long as you have some way of contacting this person, it's okay. All right, so let's create these validations. All right, so a workout class, I'm going to say validates, how do I do validate presence of Rails? Presence. Okay, there it is. I'm just going to copy this and then just paste it in here and just copy over and over again. So I'm going to validate that the class name, time start, time end, max capacity, instructor name, description, all of that has a presence of true. Like all of those have to be filled out in order for you to enter anything inside the database. Make sense so far? Same thing with the gym. A gym has a location, phone number, manager name, and gym name. All of those have to be true, like present, in order for me to save inside the database. Is there any sort of validation, something else that you would want to have here? So I'm saying that, so we created our schema, we created our migration, we created the models, we did all the has many and belongs to up here, and we said like all of these have to exist in order for it to save into the database. Is there any other thing that comes to mind in terms of like a validation? Not no, yeah, that's the presence.
On the workout class, do we supposed to have the data? We have to have the time to have the day.
Through date time, you get the day and the time.
Yeah, date time gives you date and time. So it's one Ruby object that gives you access to both. Just let me show that. Rails C is Rails console. So if I do datetime.new, right now it's this is what a datetime object looks like. If I said I want datetime right now, it says it's Monday, October 30th, 2017 at 10:29 a.m. And then they also give you access to the time zone because I'm -500 from UTC time, which is Greenwich time. Like Chicago is 5 hours behind. I think there's a in time zone New York, I think. I don't know if that's a thing. Yeah. In time zone Alaska. Okay, that's kind of cool. You can pass in the time zone if you wanted to do it somewhere else. And this is especially useful for like when I was working at Groupon, where it was like, oh, we have a deal going live at midnight tonight. Where? Dublin. Okay, so we have to find the time zone for Ireland, and then we have to say it's going to launch at that time and not specifically like Chicago time.
So can't you say start time in time zone?
Yep.
Dublin or Ireland or whatever.
Time zone .now in time zone. Let's try Alaska.
I mean, I know you keep saying that like, time zones are behemoths, but is that just because you have to remember to do it?
Yep.
Just because it's a checklist item?
It's a checklist item. It's actually not horribly difficult. But the issue with that is like Jake said when he came from HashRocket, like 2 days out of the year, there's either 23 or 25 hours a day.
Yeah.
So you have to account for that as well. So it's just like a lot of extra like mental brain power that you have to put into it. But overall, like time zones is not impossible. It's just annoying to remember, where it's like, why did this execute last night? Oh, 2 a.m. never happened, or something like that. the last validation I'm just going to add is that a workout class should, let's say if a gym is deleted, right? Let's say like Taylor opens a gym in the middle of the lake of Lake Michigan, right? It says like, oh, this is a avant-garde brand new thing. You can only get here by boat. It's $5,000 to get here by boat or something. It's only for the uber rich. And then they're like, yeah, let's do that. And then all of a sudden nobody comes and then they lose a ton of money. You have to delete that gym at that point. But when you delete a gym, you also have specific workout classes that are attached to a gym. So it's kind of like, it's kind of sad. When you have a child without a parent, right? Like a young child without a parent, those are called orphans. And similarly, when you have like a workout class, since it belongs to a gym, and if that gym is deleted, like it's no longer associated with anything. That's called an orphaned record inside of a database. We want to make sure that if a gym gets deleted, all of its corresponding workout classes also get deleted. That's something we haven't really taken a look into. So I think it's delete orphaned records, validation, Rails.
So it's not immediately going to do that because you have blank belongs to gym. So if there's a belongs to tag, should it delete when that gym is deleted?
It doesn't actually. It's because that is literally just a that's just like a number on the record. So it's kind of like if I had a workout class that belonged to gym number 1 and gym number 1 was deleted, this one doesn't care right now because it's just saying all it is just a workout class with gym ID of 1.
I should start a gym class.
Yeah.
GitHub.
Let's see. I think it's Force Cascade.
Oh, so somebody already did that. Okay.
Is it dependent destroy?
Yeah.
Yes, there it is.
And then it says you would do on delete cascade in the
Database migration. Okay. All right. So a gym has many workout classes, and we have to have a dependent destroy. Meaning that since a gym has many workout classes, if I delete this gym, every workout class that's associated with it is also gone. So I have to do that. Let's go back to the Stack Overflow here. As many, and then I think I could just do this part. Create gyms. A workout class belongs to a gym. On delete cascade.
Is that on the workout class or on?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna just leave this out for right now. Let's just see what happens. Right now. All right, so again, we've created the schema, we've created the migrations, we've created the models right here. Maybe we'll just leave this out for right now. That might be a little too advanced. Okay, we're gonna leave out that dependent orphan stuff. We'll do that at a later time. Let's just say a gym has many workout classes. A workout class belongs to a gym. All of these things need to be present before we can move forward. Ready to do some stuff with my database here. So what's the command to drop, create, and migrate the database? It's not YOLO. What's that? Bundle exec, Rails, DB, colon, drop, create, migrate, and seed. Drop, create, migrate. And I just realized we don't have a seeds file. Where is that seeds file found in our giant Rails app? DB. Go down to seeds right here, and we're going to create some classes and some gyms. How's that? So we'll create 10 gyms, and then we'll create 50 classes. So a gym has a location. So gym.create We'll do location is something. Phone number is something else. Manager name and gym name. And we'll create 50 classes.
I'm going to just nest that inside the classes inside of the gym creation. So you can just do a gym.create and then gym.save and have the class at the same time.
Ah, that is one way of doing it. Let's look at my way of doing it. Yes. I'm going to create a class name. This is time start, time end.
And then you're just going to be pulling in like a bunch of faker.
Yep, I'm going to be pulling a bunch of faker stuff right pretty soon. Instructor name, description. And then gym ID, I'm going to do rand 1 to 10. Because a class belongs to a gym, and I know that I have at least 10 gyms that are going to save, so that's going to be IDs 1 through 10. I'm just going to choose a random one between 1 and 10. Okay, now it's time to do a bunch of faker stuff. So a location.
Address or?
Yeah, sure, address works. We'll just do faker address for city. Location is going to be the city. The phone number, I think there's an actual phone number as well. Faker phone. MNOP phone number. Manager name. Should we just make it Taylor for everything?
Let's make it Tasha.
Let me find a name right here. All right, so I'm going to have a name right here.
Ashon Jones.
Why not? And then the gym name. Should we do Harry Potter or something fun? Lord of the Rings? Sure.
Who's your pro?
Helm's Deep. What are you saying?
No,
Location.
is there an office faker? Like the office?
Let's find out.
No.
There is no the office.
Should be.
Yeah. All right. So the workout class.
You put location into gym.
Okay, let's take a look. You might be right on something there. Create gyms. A gym has a.
Oh, the faker, the one you use it location.
Oh yeah, because we're supposed to use the name.
This location is actually like a city, and then the name of the gym might be named something else. Where it's like, well, it's actually right.
No.
I think a gym is based off of the gym name. I think I might need to remove this. I don't think I need a gym name because it's based off the location. It's like I'm talking about the Lincoln Park, like Chicago Athletic Club or something like that. I don't think I need this.
Well, why couldn't you have both? What's the issue?
It's just, I mean, there's no issue of having both. It's just
Yeah.
we're trying to make it a little simpler.
Okay.
So we'll get rid of this one altogether. All right, so that means if I remove it here, I have to also remove the validation. So get rid of the gym name. That should be good. I have to drop it and recreate it later. All right, so the class name, let's just call this potential classes. What are some potential class? Let's say let's come up with four class names. What are some? What's that? Spinning. Yoga. Powerlifting. One more. What's that? CrossFit. Okay. So I'm going to just choose a random class name. Potential classes.sample. The time start and the time end. Random time rails. I don't know. Ugh, I don't like that.
There's like a faker, and then you can do like
Oh, faker time.
It's like an inventory.
So time. Ah. All right, let's take a look at how to use this. Random date between dates.
like forward 30 all start time, and then
Sure.
for end time, did like I just sampled anywhere from like half an hour to 2 hours.
Sure. So faker, 30 days, all times. And then, what was the next one?
Like basically, I put that outside of the like the faker time forward and moved it outside of the create.
Okay.
So grab that value. I mean, and still in the 50 times too, but outside of there. So I save that as a value, and then for the end, I just added a sample anywhere from like 30 minutes to 2 hours. It's like milliseconds, so it's going to be like.
So you're just saying plus like 60 minutes. I think that actually works. Let's find out. So this is one time, and then let's say plus 60 minutes. Ah, that works. Oh, that's weird. Oh, it's some random time. Oh, I see what you mean. So let's say we have a random time in 30 days from now. So A equals that, and then A plus 60 minutes. It's going to give me 1 hour after that. Kind of like that?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's do that then. So we'll have a start time of that, and then the end time is going to be the start time plus 60 minutes. Did I lose anyone on that?
I get the end time. So what's the forward again? Sorry, time that forward.
It's just a
Time is the
just random time in the future up to a maximum number of days. So I said faker time, go forward 30 days. And then are you talking about an AM time, afternoon time, and evening time? I'm just kind of like, do whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's say we have a 24-hour gym. So it's like all times of the day, right? Completely random. If I pass in morning, afternoon, or evening, it's going to scope it to just like between 7 and 12 at 7 a.m. and 12 p.m., 12 to 5, 5 to 10, or something like that.
okay. Well, why are we going? I'm sorry. Why are we going forward? Can I see the code again? Yeah. Okay.
We don't have. We're just going forward like a day or two. It's also okay if we could just do rand 1 to 5 here too. Just like 1 to 5 days in the future. End time. So we're going to create create one of these random classes. Have a start time, have an end time. We'll just have a random number between 1 and 20 people for the class. We're going to have another random name again for the instructor.
Max capacity is 1. 10 to 20.
10 to 20. Good call. One person. And then finally we have a description. Let's go back over to again. Let's do Star Wars. And we'll just do a quote as the description, just to get something in there. All right. So again, this is kind of like a long process to get things started, but like the more time you spend on the database side, the less stuff you have to worry about later. So at least I know I have some sort of records in my database. So I've changed the migrations. I've removed the gym's location name or something like that. So I have to drop everything.
Create migrate.
So I'm just going to run YOLO because I want to save some time. YOLO is an alias that I created for dropping my create migrate seed. Let's see if this works. All right, if all goes well, I can just type in the C. Again, I have alias C to bundle exec Rails console. So let's see, let's take a look at the last gym. G equals underscore. All right, we have a gym. It's located in Midshire. It has a Hawaii zip code. The manager's name is Delia Huel. Let's see, does this gym have any classes? So I call them workout classes. A gym has many workout classes. Cool. How many do we have? We have 4 classes. Let's just choose the last one. This last class is CrossFit. Starts on November 2nd at 3:08 p.m. and it ends an hour later at 4:08 p.m. It has a maximum capacity of 19. The instructor's name is Arnulfo Boyer Sr. and the description is no reward is very fitting. No reward is worth this. It's very, very fitting. That's and you can see that it is associated with the gym. The gym's ID is number 10. It's the last one that we created.
How did we get 4 classes into the gym? Was that at random? What did we end up doing?
Yeah, so if we go back to the code that we have here, I created 50 classes.
Yep.
And I said the gym that it belongs to is just some random number between 1 and 10. So all the gyms hopefully will have some. It's possible one gym won't have any classes with it. But I just said just to choose a random. Hopefully.
Okay.
You never know.
Yeah.
Like the number 4 could possibly just never be chosen. So everything works. I like how it looks. All right.
You can always say gym.workoutclasses.count and get the number of classes that a gym has.
Yeah. All right. So we've created all of our database stuff. We're good to go there. Let's create some routes. So we go to config, go to routes, and I can either do all of the manual routes myself, or I can just do resources. Your call. Resources. Okay. We're going to start with 1, and then we'll move into the nested stuff later. So we're just going to do gyms. Resources, gyms. What's the command in the terminal to give me all of the routes?
To you.
Bundle exec Rails routes. Take a look at what we've got here. So by typing just that one little line, resources, gyms, what we get is we can look at all the gyms. We can look at new gym. We can do edit gym, all of this kind of stuff. So what we'll do is we'll just load this up. Okay, so I have two windows running. One of them is this my server itself, and the other one is just going to be a running list of all of our routes. So I should be able to go to localhost 3000, and it's huge. Yay, I'm on Rails. This is the boilerplate thing that's on here. So if I go to /gyms, I should be able to see all my gyms, but it says there's an uninitialized constant gyms controller. What do I do next? Thoughts? Controller. It says there's an uninitialized constant gyms controller. If we jump back over here, it says that when I make a request to /gyms, it's going to the gyms controller and to the index page. But if you take a look over here, I don't have a gyms controller. I'll create one called gyms controller. And so I just created this and refresh this page. There's going to be a new error that shows up. It says action index could not be found for gyms controller. So now we're just going to I'm going to call this error-driven development. Every single time that there's a descriptive error on the page, I'm going to just fix that. So it says there's no action called index. Okay. def index. Refresh the page one more time. It says Jim's controller index is missing a template. Now, you're going to get a lot of error messages when you deal with Ruby on Rails and when you're starting to develop these types of things. When you get those things, I want you to, number one, don't freak out. Like, these error messages are very, very purposely written to help you to the next stage of development. They're saying this is exactly what's wrong. So number one, don't freak out. Number two, actually read what the message is. And number three, if you don't know what it is, Google it. So first thing, we're not freaking out. We're going to read what it says. It says there's an unknown format in Jim's controller index. Let's read a little bit more. It says Jim's controller index is missing a template for this page. Based off of that, what do you think what is the issue? It doesn't have an index view file. So we jump down to views. We see that there's no folder for Jim's. And then we create an index file. And I like small wins, so I'm just going to go hello, Taylor, on this. Or I've been picking on Taylor all day. Let's do Mickey. I refresh the page, and everything works. But this is not what we expect to see, right? What do we expect to see?
Gyms and classes.
Yeah, a list of all the gyms. We're just dealing with gyms for right now.
Okay.
So what would you want to see? Maybe a H1 of all gyms or something like that? And then maybe we want to iterate over the gym. Yeah, gyms.
See that.
Maybe we'll create a link to. Okay. How do I get all the gyms from my database here?
So that those quotation marks.
I
it's
haven't done
implied.
anything
Okay.
yet. I haven't done anything yet. How do I get all the gyms from my database? And gyms equals gym.all. So this @gyms, because it's saved as an instance variable on line 3, I'm able to pass it from the controller directly into the view without doing like any of the local stuff. So again, instance variables pass down from controllers down into view. Now I can use one of these. I can just hard code it like this, or I can use one of my handy new link to method saver like helper things. So I'm going to do link to. The first thing that comes up is the actual thing that shows up on the page. So what shows up on the page, and then actual link, and then close it off. All right, so I'm going to just say gym.name, and then we'll call this, I think it's called gym path. Yep. And I think I can redirect it to an actual object.
Can I see that again? Would you look at gym path?
So remember last week we talked about named routes. So instead of hard coding /gyms/ like gym ID and hard coding it like that, we can just do gym _path. But since we have the entire object, we can just send them to that particular object. So I'm just going to do link to the gym's name and then take them to the actual gym. This is identical to saying /gyms/ gym.id gym.name. So lines 4 and 6 are synonymous. One's a little bit more typing than the other one.
So you can use @gym or gym_path.
Yeah, you can do gym_path. But since if you take a look over here at gym_path that needs an ID, you need to pass in that ID. So you'd be doing gym path with gym.
Well, because it doesn't assume that since it's a get.
What's that? It does assume it because it's a get, yeah. Okay, so I have all my gyms and nothing shows up on the page. What is going on? Let's take a look. So at gyms equals gym.all. What's that?
We need that equal sign.
Might need an equal sign for the link too. Oh, each do gym. Let's go back to the curriculum real quick, because I think I might have mistyped something.
I think there's nested symbols.
Pardon?
Need a nested like link to and then the nested one inside.
I'm not doing anything with nested right now. I'm
And
just.
then you have like the nested bracket and percent. Like you need those inside.
Am I going crazy or something? At gyms, each do gym.
Do you need the inner brackets or just link to?
I think link to works without it.
You have the gym on the back.
Oh, I think I need a list. Sorry.
Wait, there's a missing,
Gyms.
there's an orange open.
I think you have to get rid of both those tags around gym.name.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Do you mean gym.name as the?
That's probably not equal.
Well, it's not
We should
gym.name.
so you don't do link to gym path and then as gym.name or something like that?
I don't think you need to. I'm missing something here. Let's do create gyms. Oh, I'm sorry. It's location.
Oh, didn't.
Cool.
Yeah, okay.
We got all of these. Let's put them in a let's put it in a list, right? So let's do unordered list. Unordered list. Okay. List. Closing list. Cool. Here's all the gyms that we have. West Eliza Land, Aaronside, Shanahan. I think, yeah, these are fancy looking gyms. As of right now, if I can click on them.
Does it say Shanahan Land?
What's that?
Yeah.
So I just clicked on Shanahan Land, and you can kind of see that even though I've never actually typed out the hrefs myself, it actually takes me to /gym/1. And that's kind of like the power of these link to here. So it's like it's taking me to the first thing that shows up is what's showing up on the screen, like the words that show up on the screen. And the second one, I'm not even passing a path. I'm just saying like take me to this random active record object. But Rails knows that when you pass in that active record object, it's actually just going to take me to /gym/whatever that one is. All right, let's take a break here. All right, so we have created our database, we've seeded it, we've migrated, we have one route right now that works, which is just /gym. So this is all of our gyms that we have right here. So with that, let's say we want to continue down this CRUD verb. So we're just working on the read right now. We're able to read all of them, but we're not able to read a single one. So it's the next action. Next issue says that the action show couldn't be found in Jim's controller. What are your thoughts? What do we do next?
Show, Jim's controller.
Yep.
Show.
Def show. And what will this def show do? So now I've refreshed it, and it says that show is missing a template for this for this request. What's my next action? Yeah, create the show file. Show.html.arb. I'm just going to copy this over here. So let's say we're talking about a specific gym number, right? So let's say maybe,
Whatever the title was.
yeah, gym dot, let's see what was in the gym.
Oh, okay.
Gym location. And then maybe we will just do a bunch of stuff like gym, let's just say phone number. Then manager name. Cool. So all this is going to say up top is like, where is this gym located? What's the phone number? And what's the manager's name? Now, I need to do something inside the controller in order to pass down @gym down to show. So how do I guess, like, how do I find this particular gym?
Oh yeah, I remember.
All right, let's see if this works. Cool. I like it. I'm going to put this on two separate lines real quick.
What does strong do again?
Strong makes it bold.
You both? Okay.
That's why it's like some of these are bolded and others are not. So South Minervation Gym. Maybe I'll add the word gym in here as well. Cool. So we're able to see all of the gyms. I can click on any of them right now, Edberg, and then I'm here in another gym. So I'm able to read all of the gyms and read an individual one. Let's create a back page, perhaps. Go back to the index, and then maybe an edit and a delete for now. So let's just edit first. So let's have a, first things first, I'm just going to have a link to back. So this takes me back one page, and I want to go to all the gyms. So I'm just going to say gyms path. Gyms path. Let's see if this works. Refresh the page. There's a back. It'll take me to all the gyms. Oh, it works pretty well. All right. So let's go. Let's create one for an edit. Back.
What's HRM again?
Horizontal rule. You'll see it in just a second. So this is what it looks like right now. Refresh the page. You see the little line going across just to differentiate some parts of the page. You probably wouldn't want this on your page, but just in case.
Why do we have two backs again? So one's going back to the gym.
Oh, sorry. One's going back to the gym. One's going to an edit page. Edit gym. And then another one for delete gym, perhaps. So I want to edit a particular gym. So which one of these prefixes works with the editing the gym? Mm-hmm. No. So I'll change this to edit gym _ path. And it looks like it takes an ID because you need to pass in what the particular gym's ID is going to be. So how do I pass that into this?
Oh, it doesn't automatically.
Doesn't automatically know. What's that?
I say
Colon ID? Nope, it's not colon ID. Just add gym. Just add gym. You pass in the entire object, yeah. So that one works. Let's see if that does anything. So edit gym and delete gym. Let's see if I can hit this. It says unknown action. The action edit could not be found for gym's controller. So Mickey, tell me what to do next. Okay, def edit. Okay, let's see what happens here. Refresh the page. Missing a template. What's next? And I'm going to need a form here. So instead of typing things over again, I'm going to be lazy. And I have to find it. Where is it? Let's steal this from John. I think there's an edit.html.erb. I'm just going to grab all of his code and just paste it in here. I don't want, oh geez. What's that? Edit Jim. I want to send this to Jim's and then at jim.id. Basically anything that says.
Can we use a form for this?
Yeah, let's use a form for instead of this. So form for at Jim. So let's look at a form for edit Rails. Let's change this to an H1. In H1, let's say edit Jim form. Form tag for post path, we'll change this to Jim path, change this to at Jim. Now, I have no idea what this actually does, to be quite honest. I'm just kind of like, I know that I'm going to need to put in all the stuff for this particular gym. So I know this gym has a location title.
Is it the right way to do the path? Wouldn't be edit gym?
It is not edit gym, actually, because when you're sending it to the gym path, and then there's a put functionality where you can update that particular gym. I think you can actually just do at gym, like this. Put location, so it's not going to be location. Let's say phone number. And then this final one for manager name. Let's see if this does anything. So if I go back to this first one, I refresh, I go to edit, and it looks like it works. So I have an edit gym form, there's a location, phone number, and manager name. It doesn't look like I probably need this gigantic text area. If you notice there was a difference between the first one and the next two, like in terms of how large the text box is. I probably don't need all of this, right?
So what was the difference? You just
So
said,
one says text field and the other one's text area.
Yeah.
So I'll just replace these as text field. Refresh, I have all of these and submit changes. Let's say I want to change it to Miss Deja Baker for the manager name. I submit the changes, blows up. Oh no, it says update could not be found in Jim's controller. So using our same logic, def update. Looks like we're going to have to do this thing again. Let's say at Jim.update attributes with params. Let's just say if it updates. Redirect to Jim to at Jim. Else redirect to edit gym path with that gym here. Let's see what happens. I'm going to go back to the second one. I'm going to change this to Deja. It's going to be the name of the manager. Submit the changes, and this very, very scary thing blows up. It says forbidden attributes error. We talked a little bit last week about whitelisting parameters. Does that ring a bell to anybody?
Oh, so you do that like extra check to make sure that other trash doesn't come in.
Pretty much, yeah. So basically, as attacks have gotten more and more advanced, we have to make sure that all the things coming in from our forms are the exact things that we want. So we have to add a little private method down here. We'll call this gym params or something like that. And I'm only going to permit certain things to come through. .permit, I'm only going to allow location, phone number, and manager name. And I'll change this params to gym params. Back to the edit page. Change this to Deja and submit the changes. And just like that, it updated correctly. I have Aaron inside of gym. Here's the phone number, and Deja is now the manager. So I'm able to read all of them, read an individual one, edit an individual one, and then now we have to figure out what to do with this delete thing right here. So let's go back to the show, and we have to get rid of this this delete thing right here. So how do I guess, how do I get down to here in this this delete gym thing? So right now it says there's a link to the gym's path, which is it's supposed to go to gym path, but by default it's going to be a get. So how do I overwrite the method from get into delete? What's that? Sure. It's actually found inside of your curriculum here. I think, yes, delete. I think it's all it is just this thing, where because a link is by default to get, you can just overwrite the method by passing it in here and saying like method colon and then delete. And I'll have a little message that says, are you sure?
Is there a way to have sort of like a master edit button where all the gyms would pop up and they would all have spaces for you to edit at the same time?
No. I'm not sure that you would want to do that. Like it's kind of like you would want to click in on all of them. And short answer is there's not an easy way to do it right now. Could you code it to make it work? Yeah, you can definitely make anything work that you want. All right, finally we have this delete gym, and nothing happens. I think I messed something up. Let's go back. All right, delete gym. It says, are you sure? Go to OK. And then it says the action destroy could not be found in gym's controller. So I know it's taking me to the right place because it says that there is no destroy method. So I'm going to create that destroy method here. So destroy at gym equals gym.find.
Didn't like gym path, underscore path.
Oh, so what happened earlier was I didn't have anything at all. So it says link to delete gym, but there's nowhere where it's going. Yeah, that's all. So I said, okay, I need to pass in the entire path, so I'm just passing in the gym. I'm going to tell it to overwrite the link to be a get from a get into a delete. This is what shows up, this little pop-up button. So I need to find the gym, and then I'm going to destroy the gym. And I'm going to redirect to gym's path, so all the gyms. So if I delete the gym, it says, are you sure? I click OK. It deletes it and then takes me back to the original. So I deleted the second one. So if I go to number 2, it says like couldn't find the ID with number 2 because that one has actually already been deleted. So we're able to read, update, and destroy everything. And now we're going to move on to the create portion. So I figure the create might be good to put over here inside of all gyms. So maybe we'll somewhere here we'll have a link to, and the first thing that shows up is create a new gym. And then the second thing that gets passed in is the actual, like a new gym form. So maybe I'll take them to new gym _ path. Create a new gym. And you can see on the bottom left corner, it says localhost /gym/new. So I create a new one. It's unhappy with me. It doesn't like this. Pretty simple. All I have to do is create a def new. And I'll just do @gym = gym.new for now. And then create my corresponding template. I'm going to copy everything over from here. All right, so I'm going to do new gym form. I'm going to get rid of this form tag gym. I think that works for me. Let's see. All right, gym. Cool. So I have a brand new gym form. I've just copied and pasted it over from the edit. Let's see what happens. Let's say I want to open it up in Chicago, 312-555-6677, and the manager name is me. When I create this gym, it says the action create could not be found for gym's controller. Deja, what do I do next?
Let's do the gym's controller.
Okay.
Def create.
Okay, I will throw it anywhere. Doesn't matter. Def create.
You should be able to do
gym.create.
right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then params. Put the params in it. You do that.
Like this?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know syntax. Oh yeah.
Okay. I think it's going to be something very similar to update. So, but we'll find out. So we'll create the gym and then we'll redirect to the actual gym. Sound good? We created the gym. It takes me to that page. Let's find out what happens. So we'll go to /gyms/new. Shy 312-555-6677. We'll make Kara the manager. So we'll create the gym, and it says forbidden attributes error. So there's an issue with params here. I can't pass in params directly. Thoughts on how to get around that?
Gym params?
Gym params.
Okay.
Why?
I forgot all about that.
Why is that? Why do I have to use gym params instead of params?
Location, phone number, manager name.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you got whitelist your variables. Okay, refresh this page. Yeah, and I have shy gym, and then all this stuff is here. So I'm able to create, read, update, and destroy all of my gyms. So just verify, can I view all of my gyms? Can I view a single gym? Can I edit this particular one? I'm going to call this Monroe Street Gym. Looks like I can update it. Can I delete this gym if I don't like it? Cool. So I can create, read, update, and destroy every single gym. That looks good to me. There's a few things I want to do before we move on to nested CRUD. First things first is I have the same piece of code 4 times. So how do I get around that? Yeah, we can use something called a before action. I'm going to have something called a find gym, but only for specific methods. So for show, edit, update, and destroy, I think that's where all these show up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So before show, edit, update, and destroy I run, I'm going to run this method called find gym, which I'll create down here. Def find gym, and just move this down. And then I'm lucky enough I can get rid of all of these. So that's one thing. What happens right here when I want to create a new gym and I just put Kara? I just know that I want Kara to run my gym. It doesn't have a location, doesn't have a phone number. I hit create gym. There's a bunch of things that blow up that says the location can't be blank and the phone number can't be blank. You do not want this showing up to your customers because then they know that, okay, there's something for location, there's something for phone, and here is all the code that goes along with it. So you want to avoid doing that. I'm pretty sure that code won't show up like that, but it's like you want to account for every possible scenario. So I think I'm going to have to do something like
if statements. Then.
Yeah, a bunch of if statements. So if let's say at gym equals gym.new with gym params. If it saves, I'm going to redirect to the gym. Else, I'm going to say like I'm going to redirect them back to the creation page. So new gym path. Let's try this one more time. So we go to gyms/new. I only enter a phone number, and I create the gym. It takes me back to the form saying like, it doesn't have like a flash message yet, but it takes me back to the form. It doesn't blow up and show everyone all my dirty laundry.
It's probably like there needs to be some sort of.
There needs to be some sort of message. I don't disagree with you. I think luckily.
Validation where it alerts.
What's that?
And then you were saying there's some way to keep what they already entered, so it wouldn't erase it every single time you did that.
Yeah, no, that's a legitimate thing. Let's tackle that first thing first,
Okay.
which was they don't have you need some sort of message to show up on the page, right? So let's say if it saves, maybe we'll create a flash message, which was like the gym was successfully created, and otherwise we'll show an error that says something went wrong. Try again. I'll just create this gym, but nothing's showing up. I don't have a single flash message.
You need in your HTML.
What's that?
You need a flash in your HTML.
Yeah, I think I need the flash in my HTML. Now the question is, where is it? I think it's in the day before. There it is. Where does it go in the HTML? Alex. Wherever I want to put it. I'm going to put in layouts so that it loads up on every single page just in case. All right, so I'm going to refresh this page, create the gym. It says something went wrong. I enter everything that I want. Something went wrong. Create the gym. The gym was successfully created. So I have a little, like small little messages here and there. There's no styling whatsoever, but there's small messages to tell me that something went right or wrong. I'll go back. All right. And you said there's a way to go back in case somebody's already filled it out?
No. I'm saying like, so if you submitted something and it put, so like, let's say you typed in the gym and the manager name, but not the location, then it would say what you had attempted to submit.
Sure.
So you wouldn't have to rewrite it.
That's fair. So you're saying I'm here. I created a new gym.
Mhm.
I have whatever. I forgot the manager's
manager
name. Okay, so I create the gym, and then everything goes away.
Yeah.
All right. I am not sure.
I think there was a submit test.
What's that?
We did some tests on submit.
Mhm.
I would not submit if it was blank.
Sure.
It was before the not a controller inside the
Like the
In the
thing in the
form.
form. Yeah, just something with
Oh.
the form. It would like do a little exclamation mark alert thing.
Oh, you mean like an
Errors.
HTML validation?
yeah, there was like an error.
Something like that.
Or you would disable the submit button, or it would only enable it.
Or you could submit if there was nothing there. It wouldn't let you.
Yeah.
With the validation.
You all did that one?
That was like the most recent one, wasn't it? For the what we were working on over the weekend.
Let's find out. Week 7.
I'm gonna do it for something.
Rails blog?
No, I mean
Was it in the
this
specs?
manufacturer thing. That we,
Oh, okay. Let's take a look at it. Was it already there, you said?
Yeah.
App views, manufacturers, new. Takes me to the manufacturer form. Oh, if there's any, this thing?
yeah.
Cool. We can do that. No, here. Basically saying if there's any sort of errors, explain the error that was wrong with it, and then render everything back out to the page the way that it was. Let's do 2 more things and then we'll break off for lunch. First things first, I am largely displeased with the fact that the new form here and the edit form are almost identical. There's a location, I'm fairly certain these two do almost the same thing. So I think there might be something I can do there might be something I can like copy and paste over for, like I can use the same form for both things, right?
Mhm.
And then the second thing was your thing, which was I want to see that everything is working the way I expect. So when I go to this edit form right here, this is what shows up on the screen, and when I go up to the new, this is what shows up to the screen. And since most of these are almost identical, this phone number and the manager name, and then there's a submit right here as well, since they're almost synonymous, there was a concept we learned last week called a partial. So similarly to that, I'm going to grab this, just go to new, and just grab this here. I'm going to render the form here. Same thing for this one. Then I can get rid of all the code here on edit. We can get rid of all the code for new. And then basically pass it off into this particular partial to take care of all the heavy lifting for me. Let's take a look at the differences, what we have here. All right. It looks like everything is fine. Let's just do form for gym. there's any errors, make them show up. Okay, let's see if this works. I'm not sure it'll work, but we'll see. All right, so here I am at /gyms. Why is this page in Welsh? Interesting. I want to create a new gym. Let's see if this works. Submit the changes. It takes me to gym number 13. Let's say I want to edit this gym and I want to make this number 312555. Submit the changes. Will this also work? No kidding, it also works. Now, let's go back to the creating a new gym. I entered the location, I entered the phone number, but I forgot the manager's name. So something went wrong, and then it still deletes everything. That's interesting. I think it has to do with this. Redirect gets rid of all of the, when you redirect somewhere, it deletes everything. So I think it is, I actually don't know off the top of my head. Instead of troubleshooting, I'll let you know. I'm pretty sure it's probably just render. Render new. Let's find out. Yeah. It's just render.
This render is going to take that gym resource.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
can you modify the actual message? How it says like 2 errors prohibited at this jam being saved, but I just want to say.
Yeah, you can totally do that. That's what this this line up here is. X blah 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 prohibited this gym from being saved. So this is that message that comes up.
Okay.
So this just counts the number of errors that you have. Okay. Like pluralize the number. Like if I have 4, like 4 errors prohibited this from being saved, and then it goes over each one. You're a little
I
bit.
see your browse again.
My routes?
I mean, on the.
Oh, like Rick Ross? Okay.
This evidently this. You're wondering why this changed from like form tag to form 4?
No, I'm wondering. Yeah, I'm wondering why form 4. Because I was having a lot of trouble, like with forcing it into a post, and then.
I think form 4 is actually intelligent enough to know if it's an edit or if it's not an edit, which I was surprised by, because I was like, I'm pretty sure this won't work. When I said that, I was like, form 4. I'm not telling it if it's a put or a get or anything like that. So does it know? And it does. It's kind of scary, but it does.
Probably, yeah.
It's probably based off the URL. If there's a /edit at the end of the page, the form 4 is going to be a put update. And if it's like a new, like /new, it's going to be a form for like posting. It's interesting. All right. We're too early to go to lunch, so I'm going to try to go through this one as fast as possible. So does this make sense so far? We have localhost. We have everything. We have everything. We can read all of them, read an individual one. We can edit each individual one. We can delete it if we don't like it. And we can create new gyms. We'll just say code Platoon 123 123 123, and then the manager's name is John. So we can create, read, update, and destroy all of these gyms. I think everyone was like feeling okay with like just basic CRUD stuff from last week, right? So now we're gonna go into nested resources. Class. What is it? What was that? So what was the? We've done so much already. Workout class. Workout classes. So I'm nesting one thing within another, right? So I have a gym, and a gym has many workout classes. So when I run these routes one more time, good God, how do I make this fit? I don't know if you can read that. It might be too small. Better? So I have all of the originals down here with all of the gyms, and then I now have all of the corresponding ones for the gym workout classes. Now, I'm going to go pretty quickly through this so that we can finish by noon and then you can get started on this afternoon's work like right when we get back. And it's just going to be a ton of copy and paste. So just stop me in case you get lost, okay? So we have all of these routes already. All I'm going to do is essentially go to the gyms controller, reveal in sidebar. I'm going to create a new controller here called workout classes controller .rb, which is going to just copy everything from here. Now, instead of doing all of these gyms, I'm going to basically find. Basically, I'm going to take every instance of @gyms and change it into @workout classes. Anytime I see gym, I'm going to change it to workout class. This one I'll change to workout class. I'm going to do find workout class. And then @gym is going to change into @workout class. Essentially what I'm just doing is copying the entire controller, changing every possible name of gym into workout class. So get rid of gym params to workout class params. Does the name gym show up anywhere here? Cool. All the classes, all the instances of gym are gone inside this workout class controller. So if I go to if I go to /gyms, it lists me all the gyms. Let's say I want to go to Destiny FERT. When I go to Destiny FERT here, I want to see all the classes that are associated with this particular gym. So I'm going to add in one more URL right under the manager name that says like all classes or something like that. So I'm going to go back to the model, to the views, go to the gyms show page, and I will create another one of these. I'll link to all workout classes for this gym. And then instead of taking it to the gyms path, I'm going to take it to the gyms workout classes. I'm going to pass in the @gym. Let's see if this works. I don't know if it will. Oof, no good. Undefined method, gym workout classes. Which one of these four makes more sense? The last one? I think it's the second one. Gym workout classes path. Okay. All workout classes for this gym. Let's see if this works. Okay. So now we have an issue right here. It says it's missing a template. So if I go to workout controllers, workout classes controller, it says it's missing an index. So I'll create my new folder for workout classes. New file for index. Essentially, do the same thing over here. All workout classes. I'm going to iterate over each workout class. Oh my gosh, I don't want to do this one. Workout class. Workout class path. How do I get to the individual gym workout class path? Like which one of these prefixes will go to it?
Gym workout class.
Yeah, just gym workout class. All right, let's see if this works. Nope, keeps breaking. It says that there's an undefined method. Okay, I forgot to add the path at the end. Keeps breaking. Missing required ID for keys. So this is where things start to get a little bit interesting. When we're dealing with one resource, when we deal with just gyms, it was pretty easy because we had to just worry about that particular gym's ID like this, right? And everyone seemed to understand that concept pretty easily. The issue what's happening right now is that we have to worry about two IDs when it comes to this gym's workout class. There's an ID for the particular gym we're talking about, and there's a particular ID for the workout class that we're talking about. So we need to find the gym for all of these things before anything happens. And we need to find the ID for only specific routes, but we still need to find that ID there. So I think beforehand, we're going to have to find the gym ID.
You can just pass it in.
You can't pass it in, no. So the issue with this one is you have to, before action, find gym. And that goes for everything across the board. You can kind of see this gym ID persists across the board for every single route underneath the workout classes. So I think it's called def find gym at gym equals gym.find. And I think it's params. I think it's params gym ID now. It's not ID anymore, it's gym ID. Mother effort. Okay, so I'm passing in gym workout class path with the ID. I think I need to pass in the class here.
I can pass in both IDs.
We do have to pass in both
I mean,
IDs.
I don't know if there's a better way, but when I were to get one to work,
Okay.
that works too.
Yeah, this works too. All right. So yeah, you can kind of see this. We have all of our workout classes, right? And we're grabbing them all from the database here in this index file. So we're grabbing all the workout classes. From there, I am iterating over each one, and I'm linking to that particular, this is the first thing that shows up on the page, like what is the class name? So I have powerlifting, CrossFit, yoga, all this kind of stuff. Now, when I take it to the gym workout class path, I need to pass in the ID specifically, like because it knows the gym ID, because I'm passing it in here, it also needs, you need to pass in this particular ID at the end, which is this guy right here. And each one of these records in the database have their own individual ID, and you need to pass it. You need to hard code it in, pass it in order for that to show up. All right. Very last thing that we'll do before just kind of send you off for lunch. There is a large issue, which is this is literally every single workout class that ever was created. So the issue is, like, I'm on gym number 3. There should not be 50 gym classes. There should only be, I don't know, maybe 10 or something like that. And that's found here in this index. I'm finding out every single class, every single record of workout class. Instead, I need to just grab the ones that are specific to my gym. So I only want, this is where the active record queries come in. I want to select all the workout classes from the database where the gym's ID is equal to, in my case, number 3. How do I narrow that down? It's just where gym ID is equal to and gym.id. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. Active record where no, okay, this one works here. All right, so it's where gym ID is equal to interpolation at gym.id. Yep, so now I only have the one specific for gym number 3. So let's take a look at gym number 1. Oh, might have deleted gym number 1. Did I delete gym number 2?
Yeah.
I did. 4, like these are just the classes just for that specific gym, so on and so forth.
Is it going to deconflict time and date as well or no? Probably not, right? You did like random times.
Yeah, we just did random times, yeah, so they won't care that much. All right, so it seems, based on like what I got from most people's answers, it seems like a single resource is not terribly difficult for CRUD when it comes to Rails. When it comes to multiple things and you're going to start nesting resources like this, people definitely need to work on that because we haven't gotten there quite yet. So today's challenge, and I can continue in the afternoon, but I think the most helpful thing that we can do is actually for you to just dive in and get into it. We're going to we're going to do this assignment called cars and manufacturers. So we kind of did classes, gyms and classes, but we're going to do in honor of Peter. We're going to create a nested CRUD app for cars and manufacturers. So a car belongs to a manufacturer, and a manufacturer has many cars. So my CRUD app should be able to go to I should be able to go to /manufacturers, and it has a list of all the different manufacturers. When I click on that particular manufacturer and I say I want to see all the cars for that one, it's like if I clicked on Toyota, I want to see the Prius and the Camry and the Corollas. If I clicked on Mercedes, I want the C class, the S class, the E class, or something like that. So I want to be able to see each individual car and edit, create, update, read, and destroy each individual car. Sound good? All right.
Can you save that gym thing? Do you mind forwarding that to me? The gym, what we just created?
Yeah. All right. We'll be back later this afternoon.